Welcome, friends, to Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter. We bring you the greatest female voices in the music industry, from the artists, songwriters, and producers, to managers and executives, and all the women who make the music industry what it is today. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, friends, to Behind the Song. Today, we are here with the talented and amazing Kelly Lang. So, Kelly, tell us about yourself.
I'm Kelly Lang. I'm a singer-songwriter, breast cancer survivor, and an author from Hendersonville, Tennessee, which is right outside of Nashville. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful town to live in if you're in the music business. So I'm really happy to be here.
Wonderful. And it's currently summer. So what's the weather like there? I'm in Oregon right now, so it's like 60 some degrees here. It's beautiful, so loving it.
Today we are having tornadoes.
Oh,
and it's been crazy, lightning and thundering, and it's finally lightening up, I think, a bit. So I'm hoping that it'll pass pretty quickly. But we have really normally pretty hot weather here, but it's been really, really nice this last couple of days. A little bit chilly in the evening, actually.
Beautiful.
Same here. It's been really, really hot during the day here, and then the evenings are cooler. But we need a bit of rain because it's gone from freezing to just the 30s, so it's gone a bit mad over here. So, yeah.
My goodness.
So there's a little bit of rain. A little bit of rain would be nice.
Sweatshirt and yeah, I like to wear sweatshirts and shorts. I can't make up my mind what I want, so it's perfect for
that. I love that.
I'll send some cooler weather towards you. Both of you.
Okay, I'll send it.
Oh, so tell us all about your new song that's coming out today, which is out now, I should say. I think it's Jesus. Tell us what the song means to you.
Well, the way it came about was I'm a pretty spiritual person anyway. I noticed really unusual things in my life, and I don't think anything is a coincidence. And once you've lived as long as I have lived, you start kind of putting the web of the weave together, and you start realizing that nothing happens just for the fun of it. So I started noticing like feathers in weird places, and birds weren't even around, or a coin in a weird place. Or I was thinking about my dad who had passed, and all of a sudden a red bird shows up. And a lot of us have these same connections, and we don't really know what that is. So to top it off, I took my daughter to a Brooks and Dunn concert, and I heard them sing Red Dirt Road, and they mentioned Jesus in that. And I got like a lump in my throat, and I'm like, why am I tearing up on this song? It's silly, why am I tearing up and crying and having chills on another song they sang called Believe? And it just hit me that there is a connection amongst all human beings, that we all get that lump in our throat when we hear a song that moves us, or chills when we feel something, very personally connecting us. And I believe it's a spiritual connection. And I think that there's no coincidences. And I'm trying to think like, what is that universal thing that ties us all together? And I think it's Jesus. And I just came up with this song idea, and I thought that, people may or may not agree with me. They may disagree completely. They may think I'm being silly. Somebody said I was just ridiculously silly for writing this. But to me, it's my personal story. And I wrote it and I sent it to even Dolly Parton. And I was going to see if she would be interested in cutting it. And she wrote me the most beautiful letter back saying how much she loved this song, and she will be cutting it when she cuts a gospel album. And it's not really a gospel song, really. It's more of a human being song. It's just what ties us all together supernaturally. And I was really thrilled that she gave me the encouragement to continue putting it out. And I just wanted the listeners to hear it from my perspective, and perhaps give people pause when they see these weird things and think, that could be Jesus. You never know.
Definitely. I have to say, when I first saw the song title, I was kind of a bit dubious. I'm not a religious person, but once the song started and you had the bagpipes come in, I was just taking it. I've been through so much over the last year. Obviously through my cancer battle, I lost my mum and I lost my grandmother. And this song, at that moment, the first time I heard it, I had this I don't know how to explain it. It's just like this sensation of healing, of sitting there. I mean, I've heard songs that made me cry, made me laugh, but this, I didn't even get the whole way through the song. I stopped it. I felt this, I don't know, this sense come over me, and I just actually felt at peace for once through the whole journey of the last sort of 4 months. And it was amazing. I've actually listened to the whole song now, I have to say. But
See,
yeah,
that's what it's all about. Thank you for sharing. That's a very personal story you shared. I'm so sorry for your loss. I really am. I can't even imagine what you've been through. But aren't we blessed that there is such a thing such as music or words, sounds, bagpipes that can sound to where it feels like a healing, you know? And I don't think there's any coincidences in that either. I got chills when you told me your story. I think we're here to help one another through life's experiences. And I don't think it's a coincidence that I'm a breast cancer survivor and I'm this far out and speaking with you after your battle. And I just think that if we could just learn to listen to the universe and learn to see things through spiritual eyes, it can help each other. There's no pain in it. And it's just a great thing. And that really touches my soul that you would say that was healing. That means a lot to me.
it did. It was, I don't know. I can't explain it. The sensation was just as if it was sent to me at that perfect, as if he knew. Do you know what I mean? It was like somebody else is feeling this. And in today,
you're not alone. Today in society, we feel so alone and hurt and angry. And, there's so many negatives. I just wanted to put something positive out in the world. And if that helps only you, it was worth it.
Oh, it was definitely worth it for me. I have to say, definitely worth it for me.
I love it.
It's helped me in so many ways. It really has. So I have to thank you for that, because it's absolutely, amazing. So,
well, I have to thank him. I didn't write it by myself.
Well, thank you for that as well. Thank you both of you.
That's sweet.
Yes, just to follow up on that sense of peace, it was just like you said in the song, nothing is like, it could be coincidental or accident. And, it's just like, as soon as I started listening to that day, I was like, very true. And I've always been everything happens for a reason. Everyone crosses your path for a reason. That's just me. That's how I've always lived my entire life, and just, each day at a time and take it as a blessing.
I think that the thing I would like for people to take from this song is we're not alone. I think God has a wonderful sense of humor. I mean, look at giraffes, okay? I mean, he's really over us. He really is. And perhaps the thing that knocks us in the head happens to be through a song or through a feather or a coin falling on us. Who knows? It takes something different for somebody else than it would ourselves, maybe. But I just tend to be more open-minded to it than some. And to be honest, I wasn't always that way. Okay. I was mad at a time, and I was like, oh God, why me? Why did I have to go through this? But if you can soften that, and if you can open up your heart to the possibilities that it's going to get better, it will. It just will.
Definitely. I'm with you on that madness. I come out of last year so angry at the world, angry at everybody,
and that's
anybody.
okay.
Anyone come near me, and I was just angry.
But that's okay, and that's a normal human trait. And you'll get through that. The quicker that you can choose to turn the page and find things to be happy or gratitude about. And let me explain that. I didn't learn that on my own. I learned that from Olivia Newton-John. So if you don't trust me, everybody trusts Olivia. Taught me how to live in the attitude of gratitude. And it's really, and you don't want to. There's days that I was like, I'm not grateful for anything. But there's always something. I mean, look at us talking. We have eyes and ears that we can hear and talk to each other. I'm grateful for that. If nothing else, there's something always to be grateful for. So there's that.
Absolutely. Even on the worst days, I mean, there is always something. Like, there have been days where everything could be falling apart. Your life could be just that total disaster. And then there's that one thing, whether it's a person that says, hey, how's it going? Something as simple as that, a butterfly, whatever it may be. It's just, it can be that one little thing
Constant.
that just takes you to that 360 of, I am thankful, even though
Yeah.
everything else hurts, it's wrong, it's whatever, it's sad, I'm emotional, like, you know, in a
Yeah.
bad way, like it's because I've dealt with loss, or, you know, it just changes everything. That
The one thing I like to encourage people to do is give your smile away. It's free. I mean, you know what? You could be in the line at the post office and everybody's in a bad mood at the post office. Everybody.
Yeah.
Anybody happy in a post office? I have not. So fake it. I mean, fake it. Smile at somebody, even if it's hard for us because it's not easy. Fake it. And because you know what? You might be the only smile that person sees that whole day. Or take it a step further and compliment them. Oh, that blows people's mind. I mean, they're like, what? You know,
yeah,
it's compassion, and it's powerful, and it's infectious, and you know, it doesn't cost us anything.
No, definitely
absolutely, and spreads positivity and kindness.
Yeah.
Definitely. I must admit, though, the first time I listened to the song the whole way through, which is taking a little while, the one line or two lines, "Have you ever loved someone so dear? Just thinking of them brings you to tears." Now, the first time I heard that, I think, was today, and I have to say, I sat there and just bawled. And of course, with the video, it's just, I don't know, it really kind of, you know what I mean? It really touched me, but then of course it also brought back the memory of the, you know, the two amazing women in my life that I've lost. And, you know, but it wasn't like a happy cry, but it healed. Not the crying that you've done before, the real ugly crying because you just, you know, so unhappy with the world.
Like a cleansing cry. Like,
yeah. It was just different. And, you know, it helped me. And as I said, today was a rough day. I was talking to Donna that I wasn't too sure if I was going to do the interview because it was just one of those mornings that I woke up, I went to the hairdresser and cried for no reason. But I just cried my heart out. And then you listen to that later on, it kind of really just sort of uplifted me and thought, you know, I can do this. You know, I needed to talk to you.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful. And it's healthy to cry, and it's healthy to allow your emotions to come to be, because you know what, if you don't, it only festers and it causes us to be ill, and it's not worth it. Just let it out and let God love on you, because that's what you're needing, is just to let that out and be healed, you know, because it's super important. And don't try to stifle it, because it will only it'll come back. Eventually you're going to cry at a weirder thing, you know, so it's okay to cleanse.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell us a little bit about your writing process, and do you write all of your songs, you have the same process, or was this one different?
Well, that's a really clever question. I love to be in water. I love to be in my swimming pool or in the bathtub. It just is like the only time I can get super quiet. Sometimes I think prayer is when we talk to God, but sometimes I think when we're really quiet, that's when he can maybe talk to us. And I find that I get more inspirational ideas when I'm really, really quiet. And that particular song, I was in the water and I was just excitedly writing it, and I just felt this pressure. It was just almost like I couldn't do anything else but finish that song. That's rare for me. It was a very hard thing to write because it was very emotional for me to write too. I've had lots of losses, and it was, you know, I cried when I wrote it. I'm sure you could probably feel tears having listened to it. Try writing it. it's hard, you know, but it's human, and it's important to do that. I write most of my songs in the water. So that's the only common thread as far as that goes. I like, you know, a lot of songwriters, they make appointments to go meet with each other, and they sit in these rooms and they go, we're going to write a song today. I can do that. I can rhyme with the best of them, but I don't feel that those are as heartfelt as when you wait on them to be coming to you. I mean, I'm sure y'all have had ideas that you wake up in the middle of the night and go, whoa, where'd that come from? It's the same thing, you know, but you have to be due diligent as a writer, as a songwriter specifically, to use your phone and record what melody you're hearing or what lyric you're hearing, you would not believe all the melodies I've got in my phone. So I'm in the process right now of putting out an album that this particular song will go into. It'll be out in the fall. And it's inspirational songs like this. All of them have it's songs that make you go, never thought of it like that, not necessarily Christian based or gospel based, but they're all heart based. And I'm really excited to share that because I've been recording a lot of classic soul songs and rock and roll songs that I've really enjoyed over the years, called Old Soul and Old Soul 2. And I didn't want people to forget that I was also a songwriter. So this is my opportunity to be able to share what's in my own heart coming out this fall.
Definitely excited by that. We'll have to have you back on then.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah. Well, I will say I did love 1111 because, just as soon as I saw the title of the album, I'm like, oh, I got to check this out. That was my first immediate thought when that came out. And I know that's been out for a while, but it was just, that was my immediate thought when it came out, is because the angel numbers and,
Yeah. Well, you saw the angel numbers in the video, I'm sure.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Ma'am.
My dad, when we were little, my dad was Conway Twitty's road manager. And every time he would be on the road and it was 11:11, he would call all of us kids and tell us he loved us, and we thought it was just our family thing until I grew up and realized, oh, it's everybody's thing. If you're open to it and aware of it, you see numbers. And sometimes when I'm trying to make a big life decision or something, it can be 3 p.m. and my clock will start blinking 11:11. And I'm like, okay, this is the way to go, so it's just silly, it's just silly little connections like that. But the album 11:11 is real special to me. And I'm actually pulling one of the songs from that album to go forward on this new album coming out. So I'm excited to share that with people that might not have been aware of that particular album.
Wonderful.
I must admit, when you said, obviously the song is filled with tears, but your voice in it is just so powerful. It really speaks to you through the song as much as as anything else. And I think that's what really brings a song alive is your voice. I don't know if anybody else could put as much into it. You know what I mean? Your voice really helps that the song to speak to people. I think it's going to be amazing when it comes out. It really is. I want to keep playing it to everybody.
Person in the world, if you keep talking, you hear that?
I'm just being honest. I'm not. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just telling you the truth. Honesty is always the best option. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, don't lie if that's your truth. I love that.
I'll stick to my truth.
Yeah, that's very kind of you. I'm not a spring chicken. I'm not trying to compete with anybody in the music industry. I can't. I mean, gosh, girls, I'm 56 years old and I don't even know why I'm still even bothering to put music out, other than the fact that I think the message is important. I think that it's important to share our hearts no matter where we are in our lives. And, if I could, like I said, if I could help one person through their day, make it a little brighter, it's all worth it to me.
56. She's not much older than me. Seriously, stop.
I'm an old woman.
You're not an old woman.
I'm always the baby on the call, so yeah.
You're the baby on the call?
Yep, I'm the baby.
Are you? Okay, see, I'm an old woman, so you can learn from this old woman.
An old woman. Oh my Lord. You're not old. You are not old. Seriously,
well,
Dolly Parton's still rocking it, so
right? For a while there, I thought I should just give up. This is ridiculous, me continuing this. And then somebody said, "Well, wouldn't you be sad if Olivia had quit, or Dolly had quit, or Reba had quit?" I'm like, I'm not in that category. And they go, "Well, to some people you can be," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll just keep going then."
Definitely. You just keep doing what you're doing because it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So we love your music, and we're glad that we get to help share it with everyone else too.
And thank you for that. If it weren't for people like you, nobody would hear what's going on, so it's very appreciated. Thank you.
We do. I must admit, I was so excited when the email came through from Scott, and it was like, and I was like, "Oh my God, Donna, have you seen this?" Yeah, it was very cool.
Did you like the bagpipes? Did you like the European flair to the video?
I did. I must admit, because you got that beat at the start, and then the bagpipes just coming gently, and I mean, I've heard them before, and they're not always the greatest sound, but this was just amazing. I mean, obviously the player is just, and you can hear it through the song. Obviously, the more I've listened to it, at certain parts, you still hear the bagpipes. I think it gives it that soothingness to it. You know what I mean? That it gives a whole new dimension to the song. So yeah, I absolutely loved it. And I said, I'm not a fan of the bagpipes, but that was just an amazing touch to the song. So
when my husband and I got married, we had a bagpipe player at our wedding, and it was very I don't know, just ethereal sounding. It was very spiritual. And for our 4th year anniversary, which was a random year for him to pick it out, I was super surprised when I thought he was in the bedroom playing our wedding video, and I heard the bagpipe, and I thought, oh, that's so nice of him watching our wedding video, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, he had hired a bagpipe player to come to my front door and play our wedding song at our doorstep. I was like blown away by that. So bagpipes have been very special to us. And you're right, some are better than others, no kidding. But I saw Rod Stewart in concert a few months before I recorded this, and I just loved the bagpipe feel that he had in one of his songs, and it just lent to the song. I was happy to put him in there.
I will say
it was amazing.
Yeah, the first time I listened to it, it like totally drew me in, and then when I watched the video with it, I totally went to a good friend that had lost her battle with multiple myeloma, and it's just it had that moment of like peace, like with it, and it's one of those that, just again, like Paula said, you can't explain the feeling sometimes, and just peaceful, and it made me think of her, and I was smiling, and I was like, huh. And then watching the rest of the video, obviously, but it was just that moment of, it's just awesome. Like,
that's so cool. I'm hoping other people resonate like that as well. This is the first I've had people see the video. I've never had anybody see it and tell me what they felt from seeing it or hearing the whole song. They've only heard snippets of it. So maybe, that will be the universal feeling that people will get from that. I tell you, when people first hear it, I think they're really taken back by the Redbird line, and they're like, I think that's the part, because people call it the Redbird song when they come up and talk to me after I performed it. And I don't know, maybe that'll trigger memories for people too. I don't know, but I'm so thrilled that you guys like it, and it means the world to me, because it's a new baby, and it's scary to put your thoughts out in the world and put your video out into the world and just hope people understand it and get it. And so far it feels really good.
It's amazing. I have to say, it's definitely, once it's out, it's going to be on my playlist constantly, because it's just a song that's really helped me, and it's going to keep helping me. And I think, as time goes on, it's just going to be the song that helps me heal, I think. So, it's going to be on that playlist for sure. So
you're going to make me cry.
Definitely.
Don't make me cry.
Is that good?
There's no crying on Crazy Women Country today. Maybe tomorrow, not today.
I love. Isn't that live from a film? Isn't it? No crying in baseball. There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
From a league of but there's no crying on Crazy Women Country. Yeah, we don't do crying. We don't do crying.
How did you get your name, Crazy Women in Country? How did you get that?
Kind of a combination. We were going back and forth between different song titles and names and things, and we were like, yeah, this is a crazy idea. And then we were listening to, because we both love Brandy Clark, so we're like, oh yeah, we could call it Crazy Women, and it kind of stuck. I'm like, well, that's perfect. Like, it kind of, because this is a crazy idea. We've never run a podcast or vlog or any of this stuff. So here we are 3 years later, right? And we're still doing it. But to start out, I'm like, yeah, this is a crazy, like, I don't want to say dumb idea, but just a crazy idea.
When I was looking at my list as to whom I was interviewing with today, I was so excited to talk with you guys, because I was like, what a cool name. I'm loving this, So it was great.
It was a crazy song. And the funny thing was, we were just going to do just talking. And all of a sudden, I think an agent comes and said, "Oh, do a video." And there's me and Dora thinking, "Oh my God, we can't do videos." And it just sort
hair's done a little bit,
it expanded into this huge, podcast with YouTube channel and everything. And it's been an amazing journey, I have to say.
Yeah.
And but yeah,
and meeting some of the most amazing people, such as yourself, that we get to draw inspiration from and get to know. And it's been
How
a beautiful
did you girls meet? How did y'all come together?
Oh, through Brandy Clark's fan club. We just got talking on there. I don't even know how we got talking. We just got talking about a song, and Donna had this idea, and I was like, "Oh, let's just do it," thinking we would never do it. And then the next minute, I know we're planning, we're booking interviews. I'm thinking, "What the hell are we doing?"
Yeah.
And
to be in the same conversation with Brandy Clark, she's a phenomenal artist, phenomenal writer. Oh my gosh. Maybe y'all can play I Think It's Jesus for Brandy and let her see how I do it here. So that would be cool. Yeah. She's one of my favorites as well. I can see how y'all would bond over her.
Yeah, she's awesome. Absolutely. She's absolutely amazing.
And I come from the songwriter side because as a songwriter myself, I stay away from the melodies because that's usually not my forte. So I stick to the lyrics and crazy ideas. And so like lyrically, sometimes it's just something that drew me to her years ago back in the early aughts that I was like, lyrically, it just totally drew me in. And then her and Liz Rose at the time writing together, I think is what was being released, and the few songs on the radio. And I was like, wow, I'm like, I got to follow these people. Like I follow Lori McKenna even. So it was like kind of that draw. And then, just kind of following them. And
her music paints pictures with her words. A lot of times there's a lot of writers that I can't even understand what they're even trying to say. They're not as blunt as I need them to be. And Brandy hits right in the heart. You know, one of my favorite quotes, I think, of all times is music is what feelings sound like. Yeah. It's just, sometimes you can't even put into words what you're feeling, you know, but the music can just describe it all for you. And Brandy does that for everybody.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely. And I must admit, I've listened to so much music, and as I said, sometimes I'm thinking, what is the story behind? I've had to send songs to Donna to say, explain this to me, because with her being the lyricist, she sort of draws from it more than me. I'm just the fan, and I'm thinking, I don't get this song. What's coming out of it? And then you get songs that have to hit me. They have to be straight to the point and say, this is what we're talking about.
I'm a very blunt writer. I'm a very blunt friend. By the way, they call me Blunt Kelly. You don't ever have to guess where you stand with me. Yeah, I mean, I'd just rather be myself than to beat around the bush, you know. So my writing is very blunt, and you don't have to guess what I'm trying to say because I paint very childlike pictures with what I say. But you know, it's like the very first line in this song is, "Do you ever?" I can't even think of the only line. Do you ever have that lump in your throat? Who uses the word lump in your throat in a song? I don't know, but I did.
But it's true.
But it paints the picture. It paints the whole picture. Yeah.
You know, here's my point. You got 3 minutes to get your point across. You better cut out the harsh words, you know. So
get straight to the point, and that's it. And I think that's why it is so hit. It does, because it tells the truth, and it is just so to it. You know exactly what that song's trying to say. You know how it feels. So it's amazing. And
ask you a question. When you heard the song for the first time, both of you guys, and you might not have been familiar with me as a writer or an artist, what do I connect? Am I what you thought would be the person behind that song? Or did you have a different opinion of what I would be like?
I don't think I form opinion of people. I think because I've just known so many different people, musically and just in person. We always joke about having those famous friends that that are probably people that would be on TV or something like that, and those famous friends we have. But I just never. I've always been the type, like, I've never drew an opinion, so to speak, to who it should be. There are some times where I'll hear a song and be like, it could be really cool to sing that song. I can't say, like, when I heard your song, I didn't think that at all. I like this is just, it was just like this perfect song. Like it just fit.
That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. There's a lot of times I think, I wonder what that person looks like. Well, always, and then my biggest question is, I wonder if they're nice. That's you always wonder if that person's a nice person underneath it all. But I hope that comes across as well.
Definitely. I mean, I must admit, I didn't know much. I mean, I do follow you on Facebook, but I didn't know much of your music. I think being outside the States, if you're not in it, it's really hard to keep up to date on everything. You know,
Oh,
if it
yeah.
wasn't for Crazy Women Country, I would miss out on so much, because you don't have the music channels, you don't have the news coming through, unless you really sit there and search for it, and you can be doing that for days. You don't find out much. And I must admit, I think I followed you because of Olivia. And I always found your posts, you're always smiling, you're always happy, you know what I mean? So you kind of got that feeling that you were going to be a warm person. But of course, just because pictures show that, it doesn't obviously mean it's true. But after talking to you, I think, yeah, that is true. You are a warm, caring person who has this amazing voice, and, you know, can really touch people. So, yeah, from what I've seen and what I've heard, as I said, I haven't heard many songs. I will now, definitely.
You better.
Yeah.
I'll send her the whole list of what she needs to listen to.
I'll be going on to Apple Music. But as I said, being from outside the States, it's really hard. And I just pick up on things. So if Donna follows you or somebody else follows, I pick up from that way. But it's really hard to keep up with it. So
yeah. You know, I thank God that Olivia and I were close, but even I was more just really taken back by her fan base accepting me in their world, because a lot of times they're very territorial. And if you are friends with or sing with their artist that they follow, they're upset. They don't want anybody else in their world, you know? So they have been so accepting of me in her life and in her music, and along with Barry Gibb too. He and I are very close, and we perform together a lot, and his fan base is very, very, very hands-on with his music, and they've been so kind to me to accept me and bring me in their fold. And it's just wonderful, because I would not have met you, maybe, you know, or you might not have been aware of me other than through Olivia. So that I just have such appreciation for her and her worldliness.
Yeah, definitely. I must admit, I love it when artists come together, especially when you get the female artists come together and support each other. I mean, you know, you've got Ashley McBride, who's brought 3 other female artists in on her albums. You've got, you know, Dolly Parton bringing people in and all that sort of stuff. And the women supporting women is what we need. And that is just amazing, because these women have powerful voices. And this is what we should be doing. Women should be bringing other women on albums. And, you know, I love hearing that mix. Yeah, I'd be a fan of that one person. Sometimes I think, oh, maybe their voices don't go well together. But the fact that they're bringing them in is you know, is what it should be. We should be sharing this music. They should be working together. They should be, you know, showing this talent off to the whole world. So I'm well up for it. Yeah,
and so many women are they're, you know, they don't get along. They fight with one another, and it's so silly. Oh my gosh, there's enough room for everybody in the music business, and there's enough, you know, ears that want to hear different things. Thank goodness they don't all want to hear the same type of music, you know. So that's a good thing. But I appreciate you saying that, because I'm a very strong women's advocate. I really love to support other women and lift them up. And, you know, this life's too short to go around bickering. It's so silly, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yes.
Definitely. I'm with you there. You definitely give me an honorary crazy woman.
Yep. We're just going to have you on every other week or so, you know.
Yeah. You can start being a co-host, you know. It's great.
I can do that.
Awesome. See that? There we go. I love it.
Well, everyone, you can find the latest song on all of your favorite, wherever you find your music, Spotify, iTunes, you name it. Go check it out now. I think it's Jesus is out everywhere. And also make sure you go follow Miss Kelly's website for latest, if she's out playing somewhere. There are some tour dates on there I've seen. So yeah, I'm hoping that when I get to Nashville, I get to go hang out and say hi.
Oh my goodness, please do. Don't hesitate to reach out. I'm also joining my husband, TG Sheppard, on the road a lot. We're doing some concerts together coming up, I think the 13th in July in Bandera, Texas. So if you're in the Bandera, Texas area, check us out. And we'll be doing some shows together in this fall quite a bit too. And we're also recording a duet album together. So that'll be fun for fans of TG Sheppard's to look into. We love to perform together. So it's a lot of fun for us to work in the studio together.
Perfect.
Wonderful. And we'll have all the links below. And
Yeah,
thank you, Kelly, for joining us. And thank you, friends, for joining us for another episode. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank
If you enjoyed today's episode of Crazy Women Country, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to click the subscribe button for new interviews weekly. And thank you, friends, for joining us today on Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter.